Hi again, everybody. So next in the Pilates series, Easter Pilates class if you like. Hopefully I've got more of me in it as this goes on, and hopefully you'll be able to hear me better as well. We'll see, I'll try and speak up. I'm going to start this class in standing as we did the first class. So setting up your key elements, feet hip width apart, and really grounding through your heels and the bases of your toes at the front. Crown of your head reaching in the opposite direction, so you've got that lovely sense of length through the crown of your head, shoulders anchored down towards your waist, and breathing deep into the sides and to the backs of your lungs. So really feeling your chest open as you take that breath in, but keeping relaxed through your neck and shoulders. Okay, you've got a neutral pelvis, of course, tailbone dropping down, and that imaginary bucket of water tipping a bit out of the front and the back, and finding that midpoint for the correct position. So next breath out, going to draw gently up through your pelvic floor and feel that light connection between your hip bones at the front that tells you that those core muscles are engaged. And from that point, going to just roll your shoulders forward and up, and inhale to bring them back and down. And then reverse the direction, exhale back and up, and in to come forward and down. And forward and up, and in to come back and down, and back and up, and in to come forward and down. So, alternate directions of circles, just one more in each direction. Exhale through the first half, inhale through the second half. And then just bringing your arms up to 90 degrees as you go down into a slight squat, and inhale coming up onto your tiptoes at the end of the movement, and exhale and bending, and inhale coming up onto your tiptoes, and exhale and bend, and inhale and up, and exhale and bend, and inhale and up, and exhale and bend, and inhale and up. Two more, and exhale, bend, keeping those shoulders anchored all the time, crown of your head nice and long, sliding down that imaginary wall so you feel the stretch on your calves as your knees bend, and then coming back into the start position. And on the exhale, bending your knees again, and on the exhale, stepping to the side and in to return, and step to the side and in to return. So just keeping in that sort of quarter squat position, making sure that your body hasn't come right forward. So keeping as upright as possible. You're not going to be able to be completely vertical, but core still engaged. And exhale and side step. And exhale, inhale to side step. Exhale, bend. Inhale to come back. Exhale, side step. In to come back. And exhale, side step. And exhale, side step. And then we're going to slightly extend that. Exhale, side step, in, and lift to the side. Exhale, into return. And exhale, side step, into return. Exhale, lift to the side, and into return. Exhale, side step, into return. Exhale, lift, and into return. And exhale, side step, into return. And exhale, lift, into return. Two more. Exhale, side step, and in, exhale, lift, into return. Exhale, side step, into return. Exhale, lift, and into return. And straightening up through your knees in that position, just finding your key elements. Hands on your thighs. You're going to do a little half roll down. Again, keep your back straight if you don't like rolling. But if you're comfortable with rolling, you can roll from your head. Again, just one joint at a time, flexing forward. And when you feel your back sort of come to an end, you can flex your hips, put your hands on your knees, stick your bottom out. Breathe in to hold, and exhale. Tuck your tailbone under and stack back up. Again, I'll come sideways just so you can see what I mean. So exhale, again, just letting your head drop down. Hands reach, hands on your thighs, and inhale, and exhale, and stack back up, and into return. So 2 more. So bending forward, dropping down, knees bend, bottom sticks out, into hold, and tuck, stacking each joint back one at a time, into hold. And last one, head drops down, just rolling forward, knees bend, and into hold, and stack back up. And back in the start position again, feet hip width apart, breathing into hold, going to side bend, sliding your hand down towards your knee, in to lift, and exhale to reach, and in to come back to the start position. Exhale, bend, in to come back and over as you exhale, and in to come back. We're going to do 3 more. So side bend, and in and out. Inhale, and 2 more. Exhale, bend, in, return, and exhale, stretch, and in to return, and bend, and inhale, and exhale, and coming back into the start position. Same thing now on the other side. So exhale, bend, inhale, and exhale, in, and 2, exhale, bend, and back up, inhale, exhale for the stretch, inhale, coming back, and 3, and coming back, and side bend, and last 2, side bend, and back, and exhale, inhale, and when you finish that last one, coming back into the start position again. Again, feet a little wider apart, arms coming up in head of you, and then out to the side. Breathing in to hold, keeping pelvis, knees, feet facing forward. Going to spine twist to one side on the exhale. In to come back to the start position, and rotating on the other side, and in to come back, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and last one, exhale sideways, in to return, and exhale and sideways, and in to return. Then hands coming up behind your head, breathing into hold, and again, same thing, rotate to the side, into return, and exhale, rotate, into return, and 2, into return, lengthening through your spine at the end of each movement, and into return, and last one, rotate, and into return, and rotate, and into return. Bringing your hands back down by your side, feet again to hip width apart, and on the exhale, going to lift opposite arm and leg. Breathe in to hold, back to the start position again, and exhale, opposite arm and leg lift. Again, try and keep an alignment, and in to hold. So stationary knee or standing knee should be straight without being locked out. Exhale, lift, and into return, and lift, and into return, and lift, and into return. So last one, opposite arm and leg lift, into return, just keeping all your core engaged, all that shoulder anchor, so that you're keeping nice control through your torso throughout. Then we're going to bring the knee up slightly diagonally, hands behind your elbow, hands behind your head again, elbows out wide. And on the exhale, you're going to come back to that rotation and lift your legs slightly diagonally on the opposite side into return. And rotate, lift the opposite side diagonally and into return. And rotate with the upper body, opposite leg lift, into return. Again, keep your head and neck and shoulders nice and wide. Again, try to focus on what you're doing, keeping your core engaged. So last pair of movements to rotate and into return, and rotate and into return. Hands coming back down by your side, okay? And then wider through your legs again, going to just bend down again into that squat, trying to hold the squat in that position. So you feel a nice stretch through the back of your calves. And on the exhale, arms lift. And inhale, wide, coming back to the start position. And exhale and lift. And inhale. And 3. And 4. And inhale. And 5. And inhale. And coming back up into the start position again, feet hip width apart, and on the exhale, going to lift to the front and into return, and then to the side, and inhale to return. Opposite side, exhale, lift, into return, and exhale, lift, and into return. So I'm just getting caught up on my cushion. So exhale, lift, into return, and exhale, lift. Into return. Idea is you keep your pelvis as level as you can. You can flex the foot on the return if you want, point on the out, and into return. And exhale, lift, into return, and exhale, lift, into return. Exhale, lift, in, and exhale, lift, and in. And then lifting out to the side. You're going to do little circles forward and up. Inhale, back and down, and reverse. So exhale for the first half of the circle, inhale for the second half of the circle. Exhale for the first half, in for the second half. Now if you need to put your foot down to balance, then do, but trying to keep as much stability through that standing hip as you can, and exhale forward and up. And in to come back and down. Exhale, back and up. And in to come forward and down. Okay, when you finish those circles on that side, exactly the same thing on the other side, keeping that core engagement, going to lift and circle forward and up, and in to come back and down. Same thing on the other direction, making those small circles, forward and up, in to come back and down. Exhale, back and up, and in to come forward and down. Again, a little bit of tiny, just make sure that you're not locked out on the standing leg. And last couple of movements. Again, try not to lean up, keeping as upright as you can through your body. And when you've finished that last one, back in the start position again. Okay, again, feet turned out to the side. So a little bit wider out, so sort of 45 degrees. Knees over your feet as you drop down into a stretch. Now you can, into a squat, you can do quarter squat, half squat, or you can go all the way down into a full squat. Again, as upright as you can through your body. Arms drop down by your side, core engaged, and arms are lifting, and inhale. Come back to the start position. And exhale, lift, and inhale. Come back to start. All those key elements in place, so plumb line from your tailbone, reaching for the floor. Exhale, lift, into return. And then we're going to lift our knees as you reach, and coming down as you lower. and exhale and lift, and into return. So 7 more to make 10. Exhale, lift, into return, and 6, and into return, and 5, and into return, and 4, and into return, and 3, and into return, and 2, and into return, and 1, and into return. Coming back up into the start position again. Again, knees straight but not blocked out. Neutral spine, shoulders anchored, and on the exhale, arms lift to 90 degrees in front of you, and again, small circles with the arm. So 1 circle for an exhale, 1 for an inhale. I want you to start slowly moving those arms, keeping them at shoulder level, out towards the sides, and then reversing the direction of the circle, coming back into the start position again. And then reversing the direction of the circle, coming out towards the sides again. And then coming back in towards the middle. You should be beginning to really feel those arms working now. And then last one, small circles, working out towards the side. Get core still engaged throughout all of this. And then reversing, coming back into the start position again. And when you've finished, lowering your arms again. Make sure your shoulders haven't risen up towards your ears. Crown of your head long, all those key elements put back in place. A little bit of a neck stretch now. So on the exhale, looking round to the right. Breathe in to hold. And dropping down. And looking up on the other side. Breathe in to hold. And exhale. Dropping down. And rotate and inhale. And again, just circling forward. Inhale at the end of the movement. And circling back. And inhale. So last one. Exhale forward. And coming back into the start position. Hands on your hips again. I'm just going to come sideways to show you what I'm doing here. Okay, slight bend through the knee. And on the exhale, you're going to then just reach back and 3 pulses on the inhale and back into the start position. So just keeping your pelvis stable to begin. 3 pulses and into return. And 3 pulses and into return, and 3 pulses and into return, and pulse, 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 into return. Okay, so just trying to make sure you're not dropping down but keeping as vertical as you can. Okay, we're going to then extend those. So behind you, pulse, 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 coming round to the side, pulse, 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 and coming round to the front, and pulse, pulse, pulse. Coming back into the start position, same thing. Pulse, pulse, pulse on the inhale, exhale to the side, pulse, pulse, pulse. Coming forward, pulse, 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 and back to start. 1 more on each side. So exhale, coming back, pulse, pulse, pulse on the inhale, exhale to the side. Inhale, 3 little pulses, exhale to the front, pulse, 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 back to the start position, and to the back again. Pulse, pulse, pulse on the inhale, to the side, pulse, 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 and to the front, and pulse, pulse, pulse. And then lowering back into the start position again. Okay, then slight bend through your legs. Okay, just going to do it really nice controlled. It's like a miniature lunge. So right leg moving first of all, keeping your hands nice neutral pelvis. You're going to exhale, stepping forward, and then exhale, stepping back. Trying to keep all hip, knee and foot in alignment. So exhale, dropping forward into hold and dropping back and into hold. It's fine for the toe to come off at the end, fine for the heel on the stance leg to come up as you come forward. So again, I'll come sideways so you can see. So dropping forward into hold, coming back into hold, and dropping forward, 2 more, into hold, coming back into hold, and last one, dropping forward into hold and dropping back into hold. So exactly the same thing on the other side. Going to come forward into hold and stepping back into hold, and 2 and into hold. Try not to let this knee drop in. Keep the knee in alignment with the foot and coming back into hold and dropping forward into hold and coming back into hold and dropping forward and into hold and coming back and into hold. Feet back into the start position again. Hands dropping down by your side. Okay, we're going to just do one last stretch out in this position. So again, exhale, dropping down to the knees, and then coming up and coming back down into the start position. And exhale and lift, and inhale and lower, and exhale and lift, and in to lower, and last one, up onto tiptoes and in to lower. When you finish that last one, you're going to just come facing your towel or the far end of your mat, and we're going to do a roll down, starting off with your arms up above your head. Breathe in to hold, and again, head rolling back down from that imaginary wall behind you, dropping forward. Okay, knees can bend a little bit at the end if you like. Breathe in to hold, and again, stacking back up. Tailbone tucks under, and arms lift and reach. Inhale, head and neck flow forward, dropping away from that imaginary wall. And breathe in to hold at the end. And then stacking back up and in to hold. And last one. And dropping down. And breathing in to hold. Bending your knees and walking your hands forward. Just into a downward dog position. So heels coming down on the mat. Head dropping forward. Shoulders anchored. Tummy tucked in, breathing into hold and flexing through one knee, into hold, and then exchange, and into hold. And exhale, flex one knee, other knee drops down, feel the stretch, into hold, and exchange, and into hold. And flex, and into hold, and exchange, and into hold. And flex, and into hold, and exchange. Okay, then for you, those of you who are able, heels on the ground, just walk your hands slightly further forward, and you're going to just drop down into a plank, breathing into hold, and coming back up into downward dog, and breathe in, and back into the plank, and into hold. Now if you don't want to do this, just come straight into the 4-point kneeling position. And if you don't like 4-point kneeling, you can come into front lying for the next exercise. So 4-point kneeling, or laying on your front if you find kneeling too difficult for you. Shoulders anchored towards your waist. Again, tailbone long, core muscles engaged. So think about a tabletop back. And on the exhale, then opposite arm and leg reach out towards the far wall. Breathe in to hold and pulse 3 times as you make that inhalation and back. Now this should be opposite arm and leg, but because of my knee operation, I can only do one side. So if you do one side and then the other. So on the exhale, lift and reach, pulse, pulse, pulse on the inhale, and back to start. And lift and reach, and pulse, 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 and back to start. And lift and reach, and pulse, 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 and back to start. So last pair of movements. Okay. And when you finish that last set of movements, okay, if you come from that 4-point kneeling position, or your front lying position if that's how you are, onto your back and into the rest position. So making sure that you've got a little bit of support underneath your head, feet hip width apart, neutral spine, hands relaxed by your side. Okay, so that little bit of space between your low back and the mat, flat tailbone. Check on your breathing. Core muscles engaged on the exhale. Going to start off with a really simple, just a level 1 scissor, just to get the stability of the feeling. So on the exhale, lifting one knee and into lower, making sure that you keep that neutral spine, and then same thing on the other side, lift and into lower. Key thing is having absolute relaxation through your upper body to lift and into lower, and exhale, lift and into lower. So don't let that spirit level falter. And when you finish that last pair of movements, if you're able, you can extend that to an exchange scissor. So on the exhale, bend, breathing into hold, nice controlled exchange. Into hold. Again, don't let your head and neck become tense. And into hold, and exhale to exchange. And into hold, and exhale to exchange. And into hold, and exhale to exchange. Now when you've finished this last pair of movements, inhale to hold and exhale to exchange. You can either bring your leg back down to rest position, that's fine, or you can bring the second leg up to tabletop. So doing this next exercise either in rest or tabletop, arms floating up to 90 degrees. Keep your tailbone long. Palms facing to begin, and on the exhale, reach those fingertips and turn your palms towards you into hold and drop back down. And then reach those fingertips long. Tummy stays tucked in towards your spine and relax back down. And reach and turn into hold and drop back. And then reach and hold. Inhale and drop back. And then in the opposite direction, turning your palms out into hold and drop back. And palms out into hold and drop back. And palms out into hold and drop back. And last one, palms out and into hold and drop back. And then going to lower down, first one leg then the other. Arms relaxing down by your side. We're going to come straight into a bridge, so if you want to take this board up from behind your head when you do this, then do. Hands can stay by your side, but today we're going to also give you the option of lifting them up as you come into the bridge. So tucking your tailbone under, peeling your spine away from the mat, arms come away as well. Breathe in to hold, and then soften, drape and lengthen your spine back into the start position. And inhale and exhale, and tuck and peel and lift, and inhale and exhale, soften and drape and lower. And inhale, and tuck, and peel, and lift. Inhale, and lower. Going to do 2 more. And exhale, tuck and peel and lift. Really try to get that bottom as high as you can away from the floor. Each segment of your spine replacing back into the same place as you lower back down, and tuck and peel and lift. Inhale, and soften, and drape, and lower. Back into the start position again. The knees and feet a little bit closer together. And on the exhale, going to reach with the hand that's on the opposite direction to the direction that your knees are moving in. You're going to reach that down. So that hand reaches towards your feet, and head and knees this time going in the same direction. Breathing into hold and coming back into the start position again. And then opposite hand reaching long. Head and knees coming in the same direction, but arm reaching away in the opposite direction into hold and back to start. So 2 more pairs. Exhale and rotate, reaching with that hand in the opposite direction. Exhale, come back. Inhale and reach. Make sure that you're really rotating waist to tailbone, keeping your shoulder blades as anchored on the mat as you can. Same thing again, to rotate, into hold, and back to start. And last one, rotate, and into hold, and back into the start position again. From here, arms floating up to 90 degrees. Again, shoulders anchored towards your waist. Now you can either do this single tabletop and then exchange, or start with that version. So opposite arm and leg out to the side and in to return. In fact, let's all do that version to begin. And exchange, and then out to the side and in to return and exchange, and out to the side and in to return. I hope you can hear me. It's my husband drilling in the garden. And exhale, drop out to the side and in to return and exchange. And here's Mabel. And out to the side and in to return and exchange. Okay, now you can either carry on at that pace, or you can bring to second leg to double tabletop, and opposite arm and leg drop out to the side and in to return. Now if you want a little bit more of a challenge again, some of you can straighten up your legs in that position, and again opposite arm and leg drop out and in to return, and opposite arm and leg drop out and in, come back to the start position. So you can, as I say, either work with single tabletop, bent leg double tabletop, or straight leg double tabletop, opposite arm and leg, keeping your torso as centered on the mat as possible. So when you finish that last pair of movements, then you can bend your knees and lower down. First one leg, then the other. Arms coming back down by your side, and bringing your hands then above your head, elbows wide out to the side, or fingertips on your temples if you prefer. Going to do an abdominal preparation. Just adding in a simple scissor movement with alternate legs, although you're coming up straight for the abdominal preparation, no oblique. So exhale and lift, coming into single tabletop and into lower. Now if you want to just do the upper body and not the double tabletop, that's absolutely fine. So exhale, lift, and into lower, and exhale, lift, and into lower, and exhale, lift, and into lower. So just keeping your pelvis nice and level and controlled, and into return, and exhale, lift, and into lower. finished that last leg of movements, going to let your hands come back down by your side. Okay, and we're going to add into that a leg stretch movement. So bringing one leg into single tabletop, you're going to reach your fingertips, looking up towards that leg, abdominal preparation, and in to come back to the start position. Exhale, lift, into hold. Exhale, reaching long. Inhale, come back, and lower. Or you can exchange. So exhale, reach, in, to return, and exchange. And exhale, reach, and in, to return, and exchange. And reaching long, and in, to return, and exchange. And reaching long, and in, to return, and exchange. Okay, so last pair of movements, reaching long, in, and exchange, and reaching long, and in, to return, and exchange. And then lowering back down into the start position again. Hands coming up behind your head, feet hip width apart. Okay, we're going to do again opposite or oblique preparation with opposite knee coming to tabletop and in to come back to the start position. So exhale and lift, and in to come back to the start position. And exhale, lift, in to return, and exhale and lift, and in to return. So just make sure that you don't flatten your back, keeping your pelvis as level as you can, and in to return. And exhale, lift, and in to return. Fingertips can be on your temples if you prefer for this. And exhale, lift, and in to return, and reach. So last pair of movements. And when you finish that last set of movements, hands coming back down by your side, okay? Going to come up, first one knee into tabletop, okay? And then the other one into tabletop if you can, although you can also do this one from single tabletop. I'm going to do the double tabletop version. Arms up to 90 degrees. So you're going to bring the arms in again for a leg stretch this time. So reaching your arms away, leg goes away, in to come back to the start position, and reaching away and in to come back to start. Now you can add into that an abdominal preparation if you like. Coming up into abdominal preparation and down as your head comes down, and in to come up and exhale. And reaching on the exhale and inhale. And as I say, if you don't want to do the abdominal preparation, you can just do arm and leg movements without reaching. Either high up towards the ceiling if you want less challenge for your stomach muscles, or reaching lower if you feel that you can comfortably manage that. So reaching long, adding abdominal preparation if you feel able, and last pair of movements. And when you finish that last pair of movements, just bring your hands behind your knees. If you're in single tabletop, obviously bringing the other knee up with you, and just bring your knees up towards your chest. So stretching out, you can do a couple of circles in each direction just to open out a little bit through the small of your back if you feel that that helps. And then lowering back down into the start position again. Feet hip width apart, and again arms up at 90 degrees, but holding that position. And on the exhale, tuck and peel and lift. Bottom up into a nice high bridge and pulse a little as your arms open. In to release the pulse and pulse a little higher as your arms open. In to release. And last one. Keep those shoulders anchored, remembering that you've got no pressure through your head and neck as you work this. So going to do 4 more sets. Exhale, tuck and peel and lift. In to hold and pulse a little higher and in to release. And pulse a little higher and in to release. And pulse a little higher and in and lower. So 3 more. In to hold and pulse a little higher, and 2 and 3, and lowering back down, and 4, tuck, peel and lift, in to hold and pulse, and in to release and pulse, and last one, and lower, and tuck and peel and lift. In to hold and pulse. And 2 and 3. Really feel those bottom muscles work and lower back down into the start position again. Okay, so you're back in that start position again. Arms up to 90 degrees once more. Going to do abdominal preparation with arms. So arms dropping back behind your head. Breathe in to hold. Head and arms come up and reach. Arms alongside your ears. And lengthen and lower. Okay, so you can repeat that movement. Arms alongside your ears and lengthen and lower. Or bringing your legs relatively straight. And again, oh, sorry, that's an incredibly bad start. Stiff back from gardening, into hold. And rolling back down, lengthen and lower, back into the start position again. First one is often a little bit difficult, got the wood basket in the way as well. And into hold, and exhale. And soften, and drape, and lower, and into hold. And curling up, and in, and exhale. Again, for those of you who want to carry on doing the abdominal preparation with arms, and reach, and arms lengthen and lower. So last 2, either roll up, roll down, or abdominal preparation with arms as you prefer. When you finish that last one, bringing your hands back down by your side. Okay, now you can either roll up, or for those of you who prefer not to roll up, you can push yourself up into a sitting position. So knees slightly bent, feet together, but hips dropped out a little bit. So you're in a sort of almost a little bit of a frog stretch position. Nice straight back. And holding just underneath your thighs, as we did in the last class. Breathing in nice and tall, core engage, and then exhale, we're going to roll back. And again, for those of you who can't open out through their back and that should avoid flexion, you can just lean back, just holding on through your arms there. Breathing into hold, and back up into the start position, and dropping back. And into hold, and coming back into the start position. Into hold, and dropping back. And into hold. Okay, and the last one. And dropping back. And into hold. Make sure your tummy's really tucked in for the control. When you finish that last one, you're going to straighten out your knees, if you can, so nice and straight. Legs a little wider than hip width apart in this position. Breathing into hold. Again, anybody with sore backs, you're probably best to just sit this one out, lie back and do a hip twist again. But if your back's feeling nice and strong, You're going to just lean forward, nice straight back, and feel that stretch through the hamstrings at the front. Breathing into hold and coming back into the start position. And dropping forward. Nice deep breath in and back to start. And dropping forward. And deep breath in. And back to start. Last one. You're going to drop forward. Deep breath in. And back to start. And keeping that leg position if you can. Okay, or you can sit cross-legged for this, or kneel. I know some of you prefer to kneel. Arms again out nice and wide, just as we did in standing to begin. And we're going to rotate around and in to come back. Keeping your pelvis nice and centered. Rotate and in to come back. Two more. And rotate and in to come back. Keep those shoulders anchored. And rotate and in to come back. And when you've finished that last one, going to just bring your knees back into a bent position, nice and upright again, hips out to the side. Okay, arms not holding onto your feet this time, but just up, sort of holding their imaginary ball, and you're going to again drop into that half roll back. Breathing into hold and stacking back up. Into hold and dropping back. And into hold and stacking back up. Into hold. And two more, dropping back and into hold. And stack back up and dropping back. Again, nice straight back if you know that you're someone who shouldn't flex their back. And then same thing, going to drop back into hold. Rotate to one side, into hold, back to start. And rotate to the other side, into hold, back to start. And stack back up. And for those of you who don't want to drop back, you can just carry on in the upright position and rotate with those short arms in that position. For those of you who are happy to do that half roll back again, keep your tummy engaged and rotate and into hold and rotate and into hold. Try to keep your pelvis nice and level. So one more, either half roll back, or as I say, you can stay in that upright position and into hold and exhale and into hold. And when you've finished that last one, then come up into a standing position. Now you can do that in whichever way you like, so just coming back up through kneeling to stand yourself back up so that you're back up in the start position again. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more balance work in the finish position, a little bit more leg in the stand position to finish, a little bit more leg work as well. So on the exhale, feet slightly wider than hip width apart, core engaged, shoulders anchored, head and neck long. Going to just get you to lift up arms and onto tiptoe, breathing into hold, and we're going to make those same circles, just working back towards your sides and then coming back towards the front, trying to keep up on your tiptoes all the time, and then lower. We're going to do that 2 more times. So exhale, lift, and again forward, just slight circles, nice and controlled, going back and then coming forward again and lowering back down, and again coming up and circling. Again, really try to keep even weight bearing and nice even breathing. Last one, coming back towards the front. Really feel those calf muscles working hard and lowering back down. Okay, so So those calf muscles working hard, we're going to give them a stretch again, bending in through your knees in that position. Okay, and then coming up into tiptoes at the end of the movement, and heels drop as you come back up. And exhale, bend. Inhale, knees, heels rise, and exhale, heels drop as you straighten again. 3 more. Exhale, bend. Feel the stretch in your calf. Inhale, lift your heels, and heels drop as you straighten. And again, heels lift and straighten, heels drop, and last one, bending down, heels lift and straightening up and lowering back down into the start position. All right, we're going to just do another little bit of a control exercise now. It's called the clock. Okay, again, useful control exercise for keeping that hip, knee and foot aligned. So we're going to just step forward to 12 o'clock and back, then out to 1, and out to 2, and out to 3. But again, don't let that knee come in. Keep it nice and level. And 4, and inhale, and 5, and inhale, and 6, and inhale. Again, keeping that front knee bent. You can straighten up as you come back from each point of the clock, but always trying to keep that alignment. So back to 12 o'clock on that side, and then swapping. So on the exhale, bend, and back. 11, and 10, low Mabel, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and back round. So coming round to 9 again. Try not to let that knee drop in. It's really tempting, particularly when you're coming out to the 9 and the 3, and to the front, and up again. So 1 more each side. Clock, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and back again. Going to really feel the control muscles working in the standing leg particularly, and that's where we want you to feel it. So last one on that side, and then last clock. So forward 12, inhale, 11, inhale, 10, inhale, 9, inhale, 8, inhale, 7, inhale, 6, inhale, and again back. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm just going to stretch out a little bit now through the muscles in your backs of your thighs. So just bringing one leg forward again. I'll come sideways so you can see, just foot off the ground. Nice straight back. I'm just going to bend forward, feel a nice stretch through the front of your thigh here. 3 deep breaths. And coming back. Same thing on the other side, that leg coming forward again. Nice straight leg at the back. Straight back bends forward. Nice stretch through the front of the thigh 3 times. And back into the start position again. Alright, so final nice reaching stretch up above your head, up onto tiptoes and in to lower down, and 2 more, reaching up and in to lower down, and reaching up and in to lowering down, and then final side reaching stretch, and inhale, opposite arm comes up, and exhale to reach, inhale to swap, exhale to reach, Inhale to swap, exhale to reach. Okay, so when you finish that last pair of movements, I'm going to let you just shake out through your hands and feet for another sort of mainly standing class today. Hope you all have a wonderful bank holiday weekend, all things considered with the lockdown, and enjoy at least the lovely weather that we're going to be having. And I'll carry on trying to send these to you. As I say, I haven't heard about any sort of further work through the NHS at the moment, although my application's in, so I can keep sending as long as I've got the time. So hopefully see you in a week or so. Bye.